Hello one and all, this is a new live stream series that we will be beginning for the game Medieval on PS1. Just had a bit of time setting up and just getting it all running. I'm going to be playing on the PS2 rather than on my PS3 for this PS1 game. So might not be quite as crisp visuals, but you know, it's a PS1 game, what do you expect? But this is going to be my Halloween game for this year. I figured it's a spooky enough game for Halloween. It's also a game where there's a bit more voice acting than what I normally play, so I'll do voices here and there, but a bit less voices for me this time. It's going to be more just a sit back and enjoy adventure. But,
time long ago,
yeah.
there lived in the kingdom of Gallomere a sorcerer named...
I will be talking over the narration and stuff, but I'll still obviously let it play out so you can listen to it as well. But
So he raised
yeah.
an army of demons and set
So
out to take
Medieval is a spooky little Halloween Nightmare Before Christmas inspired platformer, adventure, action game. I call it mostly sort of fantasy adventure more than anything else, an action sort of game. But yeah, so in our backstory here, we're told about how our main character, Sir Daniel Fortescue, was a champion of the army that led into the battle against an evil wizard called Zarok, and he was handpicked by the king himself to slay the evil wizard and his demon army, who were trying to take over the land of Gallomere. And he went down in history as a hero. And as we will soon find out, that is a load of bullshit, because he is absolutely not a hero and he failed miserably at the first arrow shot in war. But this is all a big redemption story of how Sir Daniel is going to become the hero he should have been, but failed to do so in his living life. But we'll get more into that in a moment. So, let's see where we are now. So this is Zarok's lair, our evil villain of the game, Zarok. A mage who worked alongside the king, but didn't like the way he ruled and wanted to rule over the land. So he began raising the dead and evil demons in order to fight for him. But when he lost the war, he fled the scene and went into hiding. Everyone thought he was slain, but he's actually been alive all this time. And now he's returning back to the land in order to raise the dead, and in doing so he's going to bring back an old foe in Sir Daniel Fortescue back to life. Like I said, we'll get more into the backstory as we go along, but yeah, so Medieval is one of my favourite games on the PlayStation. I love the visuals. Like, obviously it's a PlayStation 1 game, so it's very old school and it doesn't look as clean as like the new remake would look, which there was a remake for the PS4 of this game, but I don't own a PS4, and I figured even if I did, I've grown up with the original for all these years, so I'm going to play the original. But yeah, so yeah, I just love the spooky vibes of the game. The gameplay is really fun, as we'll go into, and this whole game is it's just such a fun experience, and I think it's perfect for Halloween. So yeah, we can see Zarok causing some mischief around the land, basically hypnotizing the villagers, raising the dead, and just overall casting evil magic all around the world. But I figured we should watch these little cutscenes before we get into the gameplay itself. It sets up the story nicely. Yeah, so he's basically walking around raising the dead everywhere he goes. Very spooky vibes for the spooky season. And there we have our titular hero, Sir Daniel Fortescue. it does feel weird recording off the PS2. It's a bit of a setup I've got to have here, but I think like it looks okay. We've got, I mean, it'll be a bit more pixelated than if I was recording straight off of the PS3, but I've had some issues with the PS3 today. I don't want to get into it all. But yeah, so we're starting a new game. Let's jump into it. There went our hero. Sir Daniel Fortescue. He lost his eye, he's got no jaw. Oh, that's okay. I can adjust the game audio when we get started in the game. And could shift from there. But yeah.
It has risen again. Sir Daniel Fortescue, see? The hero of Gallowmere who fell at the first charge. The fog of war and the shrouds of time conspire to turn the arrow fodder into the saviour of the day. But we knows better. Let it alone. Fate has given it a second chance. A chance to forget the ignoble truth. A chance to defeat Zarok and live up to the legend. We hopes it does well.
And there we go. That's our setup. So before we do anything, I want to just go through my settings, make sure everything's alright. Speech volume's up, that's fine. Lighting, yeah, let's get things brightened up a bit. Try not to go too bright. We still want it a bit dark and gothic. Put the music up a bit. I want the speech loud. Sound effects pop down a bit. I don't need them that loud. See what this is like. Is that any better? Just run around while we just make sure that visually and audibly everything's sounding alright and looking okay. It's kind of a game that I just had to wait until we got started to check everything, because the settings are all once the gameplay starts. But yeah, so this is Sir Daniel. He could jump, he could attack in the air, just a little bit. You've got a charge attack. You've got your regular little sword swings. You could defend if you have a shield with triangle as well. And I'll just show it off here. We could take off our arm, we could hit people, we could throw it as a projectile. Although we won't really be doing that. Life bottles are just like extra. It's like extra heart in Zelda. It's the easiest way to think of it. We've got some throwing daggers, so that's our little projectile, but I won't be needing them right now, so I'll just go back to the sword. But yeah, I'm not going to be reading through all the textbooks in this playthrough. I feel like you can sort of get the experience in your own playthroughs if you wanted to read through them all, but I'll read any that stick out or that I think that I can remember being important. There's specific levels and specific areas that I know I want to look at the textbooks in. But this first level is just teaching you the basics, how it's all going to play out. I'll also just show this off while I'm here, before we finish the level. So you can see here, you can see this weird bricky bit of the wall that stands out. So we know to come back here when we have a way to get through there. But yeah, so controls quite smoothly. You can play it with the analog stick or the D-pad. I'm going to use the analog stick unless I've got some, because it makes you run a lot easier. Because if you do the D-pad, you have to really push it in and then like hold it. It's weird, you have to like double tap to run, or single tap to walk. With the analog stick, you push it hard up to run, and just slightly to walk. So it feels quite comfy. For walking, I like to sometimes turn the analog off and just go to the D-pad. But yeah, so you'll be looking for these. Let's see how the game describes it. Never mind. I believe it's ectoplasm. The Zarok's left behind. The little green trails will tell us the end of the level. Yeah. So that was Dan's crypt. We're going off to the graveyard. Beep. Calm down. Okay. Sorry. One of the cat's bees just brushing up to my leg and yelling at me. And I don't know why she's yelling. But yeah. Get a little sack of coins. We'll be wanting to use money because you can use it to buy ammo and power up some of our weapons that we'll get. But yeah. Now you'll notice the little the little red souls that come out of these zombies when we kill them. And they fill up the little chalice in the corner. So the goal of every level is basically going to be, we want to get that chalice up to 100% and then find where the actual physical chalice is in the level. And we want to pick it up, and that will give us access to the Hall of Heroes, which is basically a place for the heroes in the story who fought alongside Sir Daniel, who they'll each give us a weapon. So yeah, so we definitely want to do that. You can play the game without doing that, but you'd be stuck using your little sword and the limited weapons you can find in the world, like the throwing daggers. So unless you're going for a speed run where they would just obviously rush, because they're going as fast as possible, they won't be going after the Hall of Heroes. You'll definitely want to do that. These green fountains just give you health while you stand in them, but they do run out over time. So just bear that in mind. Yeah. This is one of my favourite games because I just love the way I just really like the gameplay. It's so unique, and the look of the game is very just spooky vibes. Yeah. So one of the textbooks tells us, gives a little hint about the angel. Basically, if you hit the angel, you can spin it around and it'll open up different parts of the world. If you want to change where the camera is as well, you do have to stop moving and you use the triggers. You can also go to like a first person mode if you need a bit more accuracy with your camera. But yeah. These first few levels aren't anything too complicated, but... Well, this first level anyway. The next level's got something interesting. But for now, we just want to run around, beat up the enemies, get a chalice to 100%, and then finish the level. But as you'll see in the very next level, there's plenty of secrets of things to find in the world that keep you busy, so you're not just rushing through all the levels. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if the music's loud enough, but I really like the soundtrack to this game. It's got very spooky, Halloween-y vibes to it. Okay, this is a good example where I want to walk, not run. Something I should mention as well is Dan will do that little like stumble there sometimes when he's near a ledge, so it's all like an extra little chance you've got to get back up. But yeah, once you got your chalice to 100%, you do not have to kill any more enemies. It's up to you completely if you want to or not. But yeah, so that's a little secret area. I want to just grab the coins. And now we want to just turn this around to open the gate and give us access to the Hall of Heroes. And when you've got that message, you know that you can pretty much just go finish the level. Unless you need to do any specific side quests or anything, or any extra things in the level before you finish. But yeah, that's basically the gist of what we'll be doing every level. But I want to try and grab a lot of coins and things where I can at the moment. Yeah. Let me see if I can just shift the music up a bit more. Is that better, the music? Put it up a little bit. coins. I'm going to grab that. Now I'm going to just try avoid these enemies. You also notice I'm not really using my shield much, because at this point in the game, I don't think it's really too necessary. But yeah, let's talk to this gargoyle here and see what he has to say.
Tread softly. Zarok awaits beyond these gates. The master meets with the demon from the mausoleum, hatching plots of purest evil. Forgotten nobodies would be wise to make themselves scarce.
Alright. You'll notice with the gargoyles, they're quite sassy with us. BW, get off the cable! Ugh. Sorry, the cat's rubbing up to the great cables. Yeah, they don't have much respect for us right now, but we will earn that respect back.
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes, where the bravest warriors from history spend eternity, feasting, singing, and arm wrestling. If they think you're worthy enough, you may be able to persuade them to give you a new weapon.
Oh, very nice. I also want to just mention quickly before I talk to this first hero here. I had a weird glitch last time I was playing the game, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen again, where some of the heroes weren't saying their dialogue, they were talking through lines that appear much later in the game. Which I thought was really funny, but it's also a big spoiler for the end of the game, which I thought was very rude. But yeah, you can see here that we've got some like weird ghostly stairs. So right now we can't gain access to the higher floors of the Hall of Heroes. This is also just a door that won't open until later. But yeah, so we've only got a couple statues down here on the lower level. But you can see right here, there's one that's phased out with us on, because we have to earn our place in the Hall of Heroes in order to get that statue filled. Let's talk to the first hero here and get to know them.
Captain Fortescue, it's me, Canny Tim. Does the battle go well? How I wish I could fight at your side again, sir. But hold, you could take my crossbow. It's got rapid fire and it can ricochet the darts off walls to shoot around corners. I used it at the Battle of Gallowmere. After you were slain, I shot Zarok's champion, Lord Kardok. A clean kill through the eye at some 1,000 yards.
Of course we will accept.
Not that there's anything clever about shooting someone in the eye, sir.
Oh, goodbye, sir.
Alright, so we got our first weapon, crossbow. So as he says, the crossbow, it can bounce off walls. Pretty fast shooting weapon. Pretty good for the early game, but we want to try and save our ammo where we can. But we'll get use out of the crossbow later on. For now, I like to play up close with enemies until I start playing around with ranged weaponry later. But yeah. So that's our first level completed. Our first proper level. The crypt is basically just like a quick little tutorial level for you to get to grips with how the game plays. Okay, now I'm going to save it to C, because that was the last one I just did. You can tell I've played the game a lot, because all three save files are currently on the final level of the game. Yeah. And now we go to Cemetery Hill, which has one of my favourite music tracks in the game. Oh. Yeah, there's going to be a bit of a different vibe to this playthrough. Obviously, with me not doing as much voice acting. I'll read certain dialogue and certain bits. But I really like the voice acting in this game, and I wanted to just let it shine. The comedy and the corniness of it all.
So, even from the shackles of death, my old enemy pursues me. You're too late, Fortescue. Already my army has risen from the grave. You will never leave this necropolis.
Alright. What's this book say? Anything interesting? No. B, I know what you're trying to do. Some obstructions can be smashed down with clubs and certain other weapons. Try experimenting. There we go. Give us some zombies. No, no. Ugh. Sorry, my cat keeps wanting to jump on the shelf, but she's not allowed to jump up here. Okay, let's get some zombies' attention. Hey, over here. Alright. So in this little box we have a bomb. Okay. Get rid of some of the enemies. Luckily it doesn't hurt us, though it does push us back a bit, so keep that in mind in some of the later levels where there'll be some tighter platforming. A little wander around, fight some zombies. Yeah, watch out for those green, the ones with the blue jackets, by the way. Those zombies, they're very fast, and they can hit shockingly hard later in the game, so yeah, just keep an eye on it. My best advice with Medieval is either I'm playing quite reckless, going very up close to enemies, but ranged gameplay is very safe in this game. You just have to bear in mind you'll be spending a lot more money on it. And don't be afraid to just be a bit patient with everything. I also recommend use your shields up a lot, because the game gives you plenty of opportunities to have new shields. Like I say, you can block while you're moving, so it definitely helps a lot. Like there, I got a copper shield. So watch out for these guys, they break your shields very easily. We got a club though. When you jump with a club, you can do extra damage with it. So that's a good little tip for you. The club basically can break objects, such as the rocks that are in the way. And it does have a stamina meter each time it's used. But you can also, if you press square, hold it out, and that lights it on fire. And you can use that to light torches and things like that. But yeah, bear in mind if you touch a wall with that, it will also hurt. But it will hurt enemies too, so even though it takes up some stamina, you can use that. Yeah, let's see what this guy has to say.
Fresh air. We hate these dark old caves and their filthy stench of old witches. A coven of the warty old hags lived here once, unholy fires burning all night while they brewed up unspeakable muck in their cauldrons. They moved on years back, but the smell still makes our eyes sting.
Alright then. You're right. Bash them. I really like how immediate this game gets into the Halloween vibes. Like, we're already fighting zombies in the graveyard. Okay. A guide to covens for witches and witchcraft enthusiasts. A witch's coven would reach the height of its power only when all of their sacred flames were alight. Witches have been known to offer help to the questing adventurer, yet they are a reclusive people and have to be summoned by the aid of mystic charms or talismans. Let it be known that help from a witch is rarely given freely, and the witch will more often than not make a request of the adventurer before any such help is given. If seeking to summon a witch, remember that they are quite territorial. Any sign of previous witch activity in an area is good indication that a witch can be called upon. Basically just saying, keep an eye out for any suspicious areas that look like a witch may be there, like say a cauldron. And you'll normally have to do something to help them out. They'll usually ask for something before they'll help you. No. So yeah, you can also light enemies on fire, as I'm showing you with the club, which is very handy. But yeah, you also don't have to worry because the club doesn't lose any stamina from being on fire, which is good. But yeah, so we've come in here to get the chalice. We've come in here for some gold, the witch's talisman. Yeah. Technically, you don't have to come in here if you just want to finish a level, but if you want the chalice, you do have to come in here. So you might as well grab that witch's talisman while you're here. Because you're going to want the chalice, of course. But yeah. Just about finished up with the cemetery hill now. Just got to climb up the top of the hill with these boulders. Which always remind me of... I always think of, like... They're very cereal looking. Kicks, golden nuggets as well, actually, these remind me of. But yeah, I think it's just, is it just a shield? Yeah, you could break the boulders with your club, but with the speed they move at, I'd recommend just have your shield out. Just to be on the safe side. Obviously, if you're worried about running out of shield, they do give you some on the way up. So that's good. But yeah, you also don't have to follow the path. As long as you get up to the top, you can get through them. Okay, I think we're going to have the problem I had on my test playthrough, on my previous playthrough, where some of the voice acting might just not be there. Which is a shame. But we'll just play it by ear. If they're not saying the lines, I'll just skip over the dialogue, but I'll give it a second to try and read it at least. I think it's just my disc, because I've had this disc for years, so sometimes it just bugs out a bit. But there you go. We are done with Cemetery Hill.
Back from the battle so soon? It must think it is a hero by now. But only a true hero is worthy of a place in the Hall of Heroes. See the ghostly statue of your fraudster self? When it has turned solid, a true hero you will be.
Yeah, alright. Let's go see what else Canny Tim has to say.
It would take more than an army of the evil dead to throw your strider. I've something that may help you on your quest, Captain. I give it to you freely, though I have no idea what it is.
I will accept. Ah, a life bottle. Very nice. Yeah, so your first time you speak to a hero, you'll get the weapon. The second time you speak to them, they'll give you something like gold or some more health, or in this case, a life bottle, which gives us permanent extra health. So it's always worth going after the chalices, even when you've got all the weapons, because you'll want to get, you'll still want those upgrades. It's all done sequentially, however, so you can't just skip a chalice if you think, oh well, on the second chalice I'd only get this from Canny Tim. No, because if you skip this and go to the next level and get a chalice, you still will get that reward next. So your best bet's just to get the chalices whenever you can in every level. Each level will have a chalice, except for Dan's crypt. Oh no! Okay. Good thing I've just saved. This is what we deal with when we're playing old school games. Oh dear. Yeah. I will say right off the bat with my copy of Medieval, I've had this copy for years, so don't be surprised if there'll be a few times that I may have to reset or restart the game because of the game crashing or anything. But yeah, just bear with me a minute while I get it all booted back up. Like I say, I can't predict when it's going to happen. It just might happen like that. If it does it again, I'll have to take the disc out and just give it a quick clean over. This is what we sign up for when we play these old school games. Oh, right, as we get... Now, thankfully, we literally just saved at the end of Cemetery Hill, so we should have on our third save point. Assuming nothing bad happened. There you go, Cemetery Hill. Yeah. Just check, it kept my chalice. Yep, we've got the chalice. Hilltop Mausoleum. Please will you read this time? There you go, the Hilltop Mausoleum. Nope, it's gonna crash again. Why are you doing this? Give me a second. Literally played through this game just a couple of weeks ago, so I know it's all working. But, yeah. It's do be how it is with older retro games. Just give it a second to see if it loads back up. If not, I'll have to just redo it again. Oh, this is what I love about CD-based games is when they all want to crash like this. At the most inopportune times as well. I'll give it a couple more seconds. Okay. Just give me a moment. Sorry about this, folks. Like I say, I never know what it's going to be like with old school games. Again, I did a playthrough and I only had maybe 1 or 2 crashes in the time I played it. Right. Giving it a bit more of a thorough wipe, make sure it's all good. Ugh. Yeah, I do recommend, if you're going to play the game nowadays, just, if you have a PS4, obviously the PS4 remake is probably the most convenient way to play it, and the most sound, but it's pretty easy to find a copy of this game nowadays for PS1. So if you have a PS2, PS3, or, you know, you happen to have a PS1, you can always play it that way. Fingers crossed that it's actually going to load everything up, though. Like I say, I played through it not too long ago, so I know the game does work. I just don't want to be dealing with this for the first part. I was hoping things would be smooth here, because like I say, it all booted up alright. Tell you what I'll do. I'll go back to a previous level just to see if maybe it's something wrong with loading the mausoleum so soon. So, I'm going to go back to Dan's crypt. Let's see if it lets us load it up. Fingers crossed we don't have any issues. Come on, load the level. Okay, good. So, the reason I wanted to do this anyway is with the club, we can now get the secret. We've got 2 treasure boxes and the extra life bottle. You will want to collect as many life bottles as possible in this game as well. There's a specific reason at the end of the game that you'll want to have as much health as possible. But yeah. So apologies folks for the technical issues, but you know what? This is what we sign up for when we play old school games that I've earned for years and years. Some more throwing daggers. I like to keep the... I'm going to have to keep the club equipped for now. But because we've got the item there, we should now have a big tick on Dan's crypt. That was basically like the little secret. Alright. Just going to save my game again. Yeah, just in case we have another issue loading the next level. Again, I've played through it, so I know symmetry. I know all the levels work. Just deciding to be picky during a live stream, because of course it is. Come on, please load up. Please load up. Please. Yes, there you go. Okay. You are entering a house of pain. Rumors abound of evil doings in the secret catacombs below this very hall. Yeah, right? This is another level with some good music. I will gush about the soundtrack wherever I can. This game has a very spooky vibes soundtrack. I also like that we're going from we're going into like a mausoleum. Like we've been exploring the graveyard, now we're in the mausoleum. You might think I'm being a bit liberal with my use of the club here, but we will be getting one very soon, so I'm not too worried about how much club percent I have left. But yeah, it's a new enemy here. The imps, nothing too much to worry about with these specific imps here, but there is a class of imp that you'll really want to be careful around fighting, which can steal your weapons. So you really don't want to lose any of your good weapons from them. But these little guys just like to try and light you up with their little torch, and you can see how effective that is on a man with a skeleton with a club in his hand. But yeah, in we go. is the warning, in fact. Is it? Yeah. Watch out for sticky-fingered imps. These thieves will strip you down to your armored undies. Okay. I'm gonna go to the small sword for a moment. I don't want to use too much of my club percent now. Probably move around a bit more attacking. Like I say, you can charge up your sword, but I found in the time that it would take me to do that, I might as well just be clubbed. Can't do anything over there just yet. We'll be back in a bit. So let's have a look down here first. Bash those in. Get rid of these stained glass spikes. You'll notice stained glass is a bit of a theme in this level. Okay. With the club as well, you want to make sure you're hitting the enemy themselves, otherwise the little shockwave won't do much. But yeah. Let's pick up the Earth Rune. Oh no, the floor's collapsing. Alright, yeah, so you want to run away from this. And the good thing is the enemies that fall into the pit will add on to your Charles percent, so you don't have to worry about that. But with that green Earth Rune, you can now open up further. I should mention I would have mentioned the runes are basically keys in this game, but I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory what they're doing. Keep an eye out for anyone else. Oh, there's the one. The ones that are waving. They're the imps you want to watch out for. Show off the crossbow here. It's a good example of where using a ranged weapon is a good idea. Because obviously if they get too close to you, they can steal from you. Hey! Hey! I was looking at my cat. You do have a bit of time if they steal something off you to kill them. Yeah. You nearly cost me a sword. What are you doing? Hey, silly little cat. Alright, got the moon rune. If we walk down here, we open up the gate back to where we need to go. Grab the chaos rune as well. Just take this one. Alright. The would-be Phantom of the Opera longs to play a new tune, but he seems doomed to repeat the same chords of despair over and over. Alright. Let's buy some more crossbow bolts. Yeah, sure, one. I'll top them up as well. One thing to bear in mind is, when you've got ranged weapons, it will sometimes unequip your shield, so... What is it? Get off! Calm down. Stop climbing everything. Don't know if you're hearing her, but my cat is just going wild. Alright. Smash the spikes. Like I say, you can't use your sword, you need to use the club for this. But now that we have that moon rune, explore more this side. Now you know what? You can all suffer this way. There we go. I also don't have to worry about breaking any more of the glass there, because that'll handle it. But yeah. These now become pits as well, so you can't access those areas again. I know there was a health vial over there, but I was pretty much full health before the floor was crumbling, so I didn't see a need. Also, cute little detail here. I like the little thunk that he makes a little tap when you hit his head. Now, I can go down there, but I want to first of all go return the sheet music we just got to the ghost that is stuck playing the same song over and over again. Let's help this guy out. Here's the sheet music. You use it near him. And he finally is able to finish his song and go to the afterlife. Get some gold as a reward, the chalice as well. And now we can finally get this level finished. So what we need to do is, with that chaos rune that we found, we need to open this secret passageway up. gonna move this candle, well, this flame rather, over to this heart altar over here. Again, I'm not showing all the textbooks, but they're basically giving hints towards what you're supposed to do here. But with enough exploring, you'll be able to figure this out. After all, there's no other way to exit the level than this. You're right. Oh, it's gone very dark down there. You're right. Now, since I haven't used the healing fountain up, I still can get a full top up here. What I'm going to want now is my crossbow. Doesn't it? Okay, I don't know why my shield was unequipped. Oh, maybe because the imp stole it off me? But yeah. Now we must fight a stained glass demon. The demon's heart is his only vulnerable point. You alright? Basically a little hint to what you need to do. So I want to get our crossbow out, because it's our fastest and strongest ranged weapon at the minute. And shoot his heart. Okay. I did just burn through my shield, but you can see how much health we've already took off of this guy. Oh, I didn't know he drops a shield. Oh, that's great. You learn something new every playthrough. He doesn't have too many attacks. Basically just an indication of... Yeah. Okay, when he shoots the crystal, you want to shoot that quickly to get out, or else it'll drain your health rapidly. Yeah, his only main attacks are throw some shards at you. The little green thing is your aiming sight as well. Really? Aw, boo. I thought I got that. I think you're supposed to hold the shield up when he does the big explosion. Yeah. You know what? No, you get throwing daggers at your face. Okay, I don't know why that's not working. Fine. No! Fine, whatever. I think you have to be closer because the throwing daggers don't have as much range. There you go, down goes the stained glass demon. And that's it. You pick up the key and the level finishes. Let's equip my sword. And because we've got the chalice, we'll be taken to the Hall of Heroes first. But yeah, you've already seen sort of the pattern of the game. But I do love the Hall of Heroes. I'll talk about that in a second.
It's the Hall of Heroes shopping mall. Bargain hunters should check out the ground floor. Well-to-do shoppers should check out the upper floor. That's where it's at.
Yeah. I like that the Hall of Heroes we get to meet previous heroes and get little different weapons. It's more interesting than if they just gave you the weapons, which is something Medieval 2 does, and I think it's such a shame. Because look at this, this guy just has a hammer in his hand. I want to know more about him.
Ah, Fortescue! What's this I hear about that archcad Zarok still being alive?
I'm scared it was going to play all the audio.
Never better show him what's what, eh? I expect Johnny's zombies a bit more of a handful than you remember. How are you doing for weapons? Here, take my warhammer. It'll smash anything and it won't fall apart like a club. I only ever get to use it cracking walnuts around this place.
There you go. Excuse me, dialogue.
Nonsense, Fortescue.
Okay, good.
I won't take no for an answer.
I get nervous anytime. Anytime it stops like that, I get nervous because last time it did that for me, it suddenly started playing dialogue from the final boss fight, and I was like, what is happening here? But yeah. So the hammer, like he says, we don't have to worry about stamina. You can't burn things with it though, so we will still get use out of the club in that respect. It also has a charge attack, which is nice. So, not too strong of a charge attack, but it sends a little shockwave that does some damage to enemies. But yeah. basically the club without burning things, but in exchange it never runs out. There we go. After a couple crashes, we finally beat the Hilltop Mausoleum. But yeah, it's like even this here, I like that the navigation goes like, it feels natural. You're climbing through a graveyard up to the top of the mausoleum. And now we return to the graveyard so we can explore that mystery gate that we walked past earlier. But we still get to see more sections of the graveyard like this. Figure I'll show you that. Now, I want to make this jump here. Oh, no! Okay, well, we'll wait for the next one. Yeah, as you can see here as well, water is deadly to Daniel. Just keep that in mind. There you go, that's better. Rather than make the jump, I'll let the bridge do it for me. So you want to keep an eye out for weird little things like this. Sometimes it's worth just taking that risky jump for some surprises. As you can see here, it's quite a good reward that we get here for that secret. Who's a Who's a clever skeleton then? Remember that there are many more secret areas like this throughout the land of Gallowmere, some offering more than just treasure. Alright then. Run up here. I do also quite like that you get to just run up this little hill bit here. Yeah, it's definitely a game where you can be very attack happy with the enemies. Like, don't be afraid to just go after enemies in the distance if you feel like your chalice percent needs more. Something I really like though is that with all the weapons, you have different ways of playing. Like, I like to get very close personal with enemies, but, you know, whipping out the crossbow is definitely not a bad strategy either. There you go. I also just show off here that these little hands, you can hit them with a hammer. When I actually managed to hit one. And you get a coin for it. It's not really worth going after, but figured I'd just show that off at least once. Alright, he took my life vial. What? Yeah, no. My life bottle ran out for that enemy. So my original plan was I was going to do just up to the return to the graveyard, but looking at the time, I definitely could do more than that in this. Ew, we got a silver shield. Got the little coins. The silver shield's obviously better, but I don't want to run out right now, so I'm going to keep this copper shield for now. As you can see there, jumping attack with a hammer. It's pretty hard. Obviously, it's not always the most accurate, but if you can hit them with it, it's worth going after. Worth doing. Get rid of these headless zombies. When I eventually get him. There you go. Like I say, don't be afraid to just attack any enemy that you see. You want that chalice percent building up. The sooner you build it up in a level as well, the easier it will be to finish off a level. Oop. But yeah, I've really been obsessed with this game recently, just for the gothic atmosphere and just reading up on how it was developed. Really cool game. Like I said, it's a simple game. Like, I'm not going to act like there's all these complex layers to everything, but it's just fun. It's a fun little spooky game. I thought it was just right for Halloween. Alright, now I got some wolves. Now, I should mention, this game's got quite a unique speedrunning community. What they like to do is, they'll do like crazy jumps off of this tombstone here. Oh, I actually almost had that. And then they'll jump onto that bit from there and then skip the entire gate. But the amount of accuracy you need for that, I'm so impressed, but I'm like, I could never speedrun a game like this, doing it that way. The only way I can, like, I can't really speedrun without, like, with glitches, because I just can never really pull them off consistently enough. But just playing the game is plenty for me. Make sure we take it slow and steady, we don't want to fall into that deep water. Grab the star room. How are we looking on the chalice? What's the one? One of these. Let's me check. There you go. Not bad. 86% of that. Yeah, 86 of them. Oh no, is it 86? 80? It's one of them. 80 something. There you go, 86. That's 88. 90. I do also love how, like, just weird Dan walks. Like, he's very wobbly and clunky, but I think it's perfect for a skeleton. 97. There you go. You get the chalice. Now, what you're supposed to do in this section is we're going to be pushing some rocks to make a big jump. But I feel daring, so I'm going to just go for the jump. We've got the chalice. Basically, you'd push these rocks and make a jump. I'll show where it is. Yeah, that's where we're trying to get to the bridge. But I say, let's go for it. Yeah, first time. It's not too bad of a jump. You just gotta be a bit careful, like with how far forward you're pushing. All right, second boss of the game. Guardians of the Graveyard. Best strategy I can come up with here. Basically, wait for them to appear, charge up your hammer and give them a bit of a hit. Direct hits obviously do a lot more damage, but the shockwave will still damage them. But yeah, it's not a very exciting boss fight, admittedly, but something you'll find with this game is it is very simple. And that, whether or not you enjoy that, just comes down to you as a person. I think the game's plenty of fun, where I don't mind the boss battles being very simple. There you go. The evil guardians of the graveyard have been vanquished. You have claimed the daring dash ability. Used well, Sir Dan. So yeah, now if we double tap triangle, we can run.
All has changed outside the necropolis. Paths go this way, paths go that way. Nasty, painful death waits round every turn and over every hill. Bon voyage.
Alright. Cool. That's always what I like to call the first chunk of the game. The opening of the game. The first act that just gets you introduced to the basics of the game and takes you on a linear route. But from this point onward, the game opens up quite a bit before we go back on the linear route towards the end, where we'll now get a choice of what level we want to do next. But yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. I feel like he's gonna do it.
Ages of toast right for now.
Okay.
But I knew you'd pull through. Here, I have a little extra something here I can give you. Could help the old quest. You want it?
I don't know why it bugs out like this, but okay. Stanya Iron Hewer, I believe his name was. We'll learn about all these heroes in an upcoming level, but yeah. Got some coins, not bad. I'm making sure as well after every level I save, because obviously I don't want to lose the Hall of Heroes reward, and you know, after that last go, I don't feel very confident in the game not crashing on me. But you know what? We got back pretty quick, so I'm not complaining too hard. Alright, 4 chalices done. Now we have the choice here between we can either go to the Enchanted Air or Scarecrow Fields. I recommend go to Scarecrow Fields first. I think There's more that unlocks this way. If you go the Enchanted Earth, you can unlock another weapon, which is, you know, that's great and all. But I don't think you really need it in this level too much. Assuming it doesn't crash, good. Also, can I just say, before we continue, this is one of the most Halloween levels of the game. I think it just feels perfect. This, like, this sort of, the colour, the atmosphere, everything about it just feels so autumn. The scarecrows are almost unstoppable, so don't be a hero. Try trapping them while you make your escape. Now, despite the warning, I'm still going to fight the scarecrows, because, you know, Chalice Present, I don't want to give up on them. But watch out for these guys. They spin, and they can shoot crows. The crows are nothing to worry about. It's the spinning that's a threat to you. They have a lot of health, but they're not indestructible, so don't let them scare you too hard. My best advice is run around them and just keep chopping. You will whittle them down. And when they stop, just take that moment to give a bunch of chops. If they shoot out the crows, just keep attacking. I wouldn't really recommend projectiles. I don't feel like they do as much as your sword does. But you can sort of stun lock them if you get them in a corner like that. They're not too bad, you just gotta be careful with them. But yeah, we've got some farmers. And obviously, I'll say it again. We've got another amazing music track here with Scarecrow Fields. I didn't kill him, did I? No, I didn't. Okay. Now, what I want to do is with that club. I've got to watch on my percentage though. I want to take the club, go burn that guy, and we want to run up against this just for better accuracy while we hold square. Scare out any of the farmers inside. Now you can chop them down, but they take longer to chop than they do just burning them down. But they're worth doing because you get these gold. You get the gold for all of them. So we're just gonna do this a second. Yeah, I'll show the chopping. As you can see here, you can chop them down, but they go down very gradually, so it does take quite a few chops. Alright, come on, come on, come on. When they get small enough, they will just disappear. Into gold! Now we still need a moon rune, so we want to go over here. I'll want the crossbow in here. Shoot at the robot. Attack the guy in the back. And there you go. Yeah, I always just like the... It feels very like autumn, these like fields of wheat and just very like... I can't explain it very well, but they just feel very autumn, these sort of environments. But yeah, go. Watch out for the bats. You don't get any chalice percent, unfortunately, for killing them, but they're very annoying enemies. Oh god, I got a new club. I actually really needed one. But yeah, we basically just went in there for the air rune. You can use a projectile to attack them, but it doesn't always lock on very well, so I just get my sword and just let them come to me. Again, I just want to get to the first person view a second. Where can I do it? Where can I do first person view? Like, I love just how this looks in the background. Like, you can see the windmill just going, and like the cornfields, and it just looks so like. There's just something so perfect about this game for September, October, November time. Yeah, Again, watch out for the spinning scarecrows. My best advice, again, just run around. Charge attacks are decent as well. They're chipping down their massive health. But they really are just an endurance test. Like, they're not unfair. They're not unfair enemies. I think it's cool to have an enemy like this that is a bit stronger and bulkier. Yeah, there you go. Go away. Alright, I want to get the crossbow up again. Oh wait, I want my copper shield. Wait for him to run at me. There you go. Now that's another robot down. Get the Chaos Rune. And on to the next part of Scarecrow Fields. See, you've got a couple scarecrows to deal with here. Yeah, let's read this book here. Kul Katara, the Serpent Lord, yearns to fight alongside you, but has been captured by Zarok and sealed within the chest. Free this mighty spirit and earn a powerful ally. Alright. Well, you heard what the book said. Let's go open the chest. Now watch out here. Don't step into the cornfields, because there's a hobgoblin that will attack you. As you can see, this cool serpent dragon will help us out with enemies. You know, he lasts quite a while as well. So I definitely recommend... He'll stay around for a bit, so just run around, find any enemies, and he'll deal with them. He does follow you though, so make sure the enemies aren't dead before you leave. I kind of forgot to check the scarecrow there, but yeah. Now this is an area where you want to walk around carefully, because even though it's just hayfields, you don't want to step into them, or else you lose an entire life bottle to those hobgoblins jumping around in there. Let's get some gold. Yeah, I always quite like this level. I think it's very... It's got a good puzzle element to it that I like. Now, I could have gone inside of the barn, but we'll be going back there anyway shortly. So I figure I'm just going to continue the level for now, and we'll go back there afterwards. You might just got a glimpse then of the hobgoblin. If you look carefully in the fields, you might see him jumping out from time to time. But yeah, you have to just watch out for him. Sections like this are you have to be very cautious, because the camera doesn't always assist. Yeah. I don't think there's... Let me just double check if there's anything else around that one. No. No. Oh, nearly got me. Yeah, you saw that smoke trail coming towards me. That's the hobgoblin. So you have a few seconds to try and outrun him. Yeah. But you want to be careful. And you can see there's a life fountain there, but if we tried to run there, we'd just get killed. So we're not going to go out. We're not going to go out there. Alright. Is there a... Where's the nearest... I think the nearest fire is that one over there. I'm just going to chop this down. Just bear with me a minute. I know I could use the fire, but I think it's that far away. It's not really... I'm not that fussed about doing it right now. Yeah, you can kind of see him in the background there, jumping. Like I say, he does move around, so... But he'll always, like, home in on where you are, and he's so fast that there's no point trying to, like, run through the field. Your best bet is to just, like I say, avoid the fields altogether, if you can help it. But yeah, we'll just chop this down. Like I say, it does take a while just with attacking, so I'd recommend the club for this. I just can't bother to do it myself with the club, so I'll just take the longer chopping route here. Something interesting as well is, in some versions of this game, depending on whereabouts in the world you live, those aren't always destructible. So those gold coins in there, you might not be able to get in some versions. I think it's the American and the Japanese version. Yeah. Yeah. Smooth, very smooth. There we got another scarecrow. Bring it on. Luckily, it's the last one before we should have a full chalice. Just get him in the corner there, chop him down, and now we can get the chalice. Now what we've got here is like a little gauntlet of different farm equipment trying to kill us. So this one, you want to hide in the pits. If you hold triangle, it'll make you duck a little bit, which is your shield button. So that's always good to know. Got some spikes there, just avoid them and move with the logs so you don't get locked in with them. Pretty self-explanatory to be fair, but yeah. This one you want to just make sure you don't get pushed into the hole in the middle, so just run along the side is my best advice there. This one you want to just wait for the saws to be gone, and you're basically just jumping round to the other end. And then this one, the last one, is basically just they'll twang up at you. I recommend hold the shield up here, just because it can help. So we want to go over here, grab the harvester bar. There's basically a harvester that's missing a piece, and we're going to use that. Well, we'll see in a minute what it'll do for us. Yeah, now we've got to go back through the gauntlet. I meant to jump. I did not jump there. Yeah, this is why I don't recommend jumping across, because it's very tricky. But I wanted to just try again. Right, just top up my health for a second. Also, if you're wondering what the eyeball on that is, it basically means that I can't turn the camera there, and the eyeball means I can't go into first person view in that spot. Get out! This is where the Daring Dan Dash is nice to have, because it does help you with just getting through sections. I should wait until I find that broken part of the windmill, but I'm just too lazy. Right. Now with the harvester part, we want to go back to the barn, and we're actually going to go inside now. Show off what's inside there. What is it? The entrance is around here. Some of these annoying bats. Get over here. Chop you up, you bat. For the record, I love bats, but in this game they have to die. So I'm going to push this hay block over here. Jump up to the top floor. Hit the switch. And now we see our Addams Family looking baby carriage, or what it actually is a harvester. Get the copper shield back on. I'm pretty sure that's just the one I told you about the harvester part, isn't it? Corn cutting machine is missing a part. A cog fell off this miracle of modern agriculture and hasn't worked since. So there we go. And now that will open up a path to the chalice and let us cut through some of the hay that we saw. So we can actually walk through the cornfield now. To that, we can get to the... oh, no. That was close. Like I said, just be patient in these sections. Oh my god, I was nearly right in there. Just keep an eye on... just turn the camera as you need it. There you go. So there we got the chalice. We've got an extra life ball. Got some gold, and we have a merchant, which is perfect for that gold we just picked up. So I'm going to top up my crossbows. I'm not going to be using throwing daggers anymore in the game. They're just not very useful. Speedrunners only use it when they need a projectile, which is not actually that often in this game. But yeah. The thing is that I love in this game is you can approach combat however you want to. which makes certain areas of the game really fun when you get to like try out fighting enemies in different ways. So we got the chalice, we've got... I did grab the chalice, didn't I? Yeah, I'm sure I did. I was literally just talking about the chalice. Oh no. No, no. Thankfully, I still have this health bar. Now, hopefully, I won't lose too much more health going around this part. This is the easiest one of them all. I say that took damage. Shouldn't be too bad for you. There we go. We are done with Scarecrow Fields. Talk to the one on the tree.
Pumpkin Gorge, dead ahead. The nursery to Galomia's favourite side dish. Step inside and understand the true horror of fruit gone bad.
Alright. Well, we know where we're going next. After the Hall of Heroes, of course. Always got to go to the Hall of Heroes. Wouldn't be a medieval playthrough without the Hall of Heroes. Alright, no sassy comment. We got everything from him. Let's talk to this guy. And let's hope it doesn't glitch up like it did last time for me.
Arrow Magnet, what are you doing back here? Be the hands of a chump like you!
What the?
Still, I suppose it's not fair to take it out on them. Take my sword, and do try not to stab yourself in the foot. You know, I've always had my doubts about you, Fortescue. You're just not carved from hero material.
I wish my copy wasn't so glitchy. But yeah, Mr. Wood and the Mighty here gives us the broadsword. Stronger than a small sword, and it can be enchanted. And when it's enchanted, it deals even more damage. But it does run out every time you have it out. But there we go. We now have our basic sword for the next section of the game. And now even more paths open up to us. We have 3 different levels we can go to. The Enchanted Earth, which I'm going to save for a bit later. We've got the Sleeping Village, which is just above. But where we're going to go with that new broadsword of ours is Pumpkin Gorge. It's going to be a bit of a... I'm going to jump around a little bit with where I go in my playthrough, but I have my reasons. I want to come here first because I think the broadsword is the perfect weapon to showcase in this level. I always really like the way this level looks as well. Very gloomy and spooky vibes with the pumpkins. Very pumpkin level as well. Perfect for Halloween. So we've got these little rolling pumpkins. We've got exploding pumpkins. Chop up the vines, which can be a bit annoying sometimes. We want to use the hammer to smash through the rocks. And we have our new enemy here. These evil pumpkin monsters. The broadsword makes short work of them. They can block projectiles, so I highly recommend getting up close and personal with them. They can lick you, which is a bit uncomfortable with their like tentacle tongues. They've got like vine tongues. Yeah. We need a moon to get in there. So I'll have to have a little wander around for that. Let's hop in here. Get some gold, an energy vial. I hear a life fountain. Oh yeah, it's behind the door. I remember now. Now we can't do much here at the moment, so we want to go back to the earlier area. Yeah. I think the glowing ones just mean they hit a bit harder. I'm actually not sure what the difference is between them and the normal ones. Yeah. This level does just give me very Nightmare Before Christmas vibes with the way the areas look. I also like how like silly the music is here. Like it has a very like, obviously it's still trying to be spooky, but it has a very like goofy vibe to it. I quite like that. Chop through some vine. You want to go through the tunnel, grab the moon rune. Got some enemies here, which I don't really want to deal with right now. Now what I want to do, I actually am going to enchant my broadsword here. At least once to show it off. I don't tend to enchant it, because I think for the amount it costs, it just doesn't always seem worth doing. Unless I'm against really strong enemies that I need the sword for. Now there was something else in that room, but we won't come to it until later on. But just bear in mind that room did give you a club. So just keep that in your mind. But you can also may have just got a peek at an energy valve there. We'll come back to that as well later. For now though, let's keep exploring the Pumpkin Gorge. Can I jump up? Nope, not yet. I'm gonna keep winding around. There we go. Jump up there, get the Chaos Vial, the Chaos Rune, and the Energy Vial. Open this up. There we go, a lovely little green. Let's show off the Enchanted Broadsword a moment. 2 chops it now takes instead of 4 to take these guys out. You'll see that even when I'm not swinging the sword, it takes the percentage down. So we want to try and conserve that where we can. But at the same time, I specifically wanted to come here first, just to use the Enchanted Broadsword. I figure this is the best level to show it off. Just because the enemies here really don't like the broadsword. Which makes sense, you know, pumpkins. Of course they'd be weak to being chopped up. Okay. We need an earth rune now. So I'm going to use up the rest of this fountain here. Oh, okay, I guess we still have a tiny bit left. Now we can't go through that door, so we're going to go through here. Dodge the exploding pumpkins. Up and down these magical mushrooms go. They will take you higher and higher, but be careful not to fall and sink without a trace. Alright, so you want to be very careful in this part with our jumps. But the basic idea is we're going to be jumping all along these mushrooms. You want to try and line up where your shadow will be going. Now, we could go forward, but we actually want to go down this hill here. Let's grab that earth rune. Yeah, let me out. Let me out. I don't want to fight him in there. Now I'll fight him. Chopped up. Now I'll grab those. You'll notice I keep switching around. I'm just trying to save my percent where I can. Because the little pumpkins are a threat. It's the pumpkin enemies I want to watch out for. Try and dodge those pumpkins. Ah, get off me. Alright. Energy vial. Yeah, you may have just seen his little tongue there. Pop through there, and it lets us out. Now, having done that, we got the star rune, which will let us continue. Yeah, you'll see our percent is still quite low. This is a level that actually has quite a lot of things to do. I landed on that, give me a break. Yeah, it's quite a... I mean, I wouldn't say it's a... The levels in this game don't go massive. They're not like super long, but this one always feels like there's quite a bit to it. here. Like I say, you can adjust the camera if you need it for this. They're not too bad of a jump to make though. Just take your time with it. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. Speedrunners lose like a running jump with that pumpkin there. This is where I am gonna run out of my percentage, very likely, because we've got to chop down this big vine here by hitting the little one until the plant here in the middle is small enough. Which means I'm gonna have to use my sword here to try and chip it down a bit. So find a vine, just start chopping away at it. I'll be doing this for a moment until it's short enough that I can reach up and jump. Still got a bit more to do. Bit of an annoying part here, honestly. There you go. Short enough now. I say that, I'm literally done with it. Okay, so we can't go that way. We got the time rune. Unfortunately, that's the end of our enchanted broadsword. So as you can see, it's not really worth enchanting it, aside from if you need that power up. So I'm probably just going to use it as a plain sword for most of the game. But I figured I'd at least show it off once, because it is strong, but I think the amount it costs to enchant it versus how much I'm going to use that enchantment, I just don't think you really need it. Like, enchantment. But yeah, we want to just keep fighting enemies, because like I said, we still got to get that chalice filled up. There you go. Let's go get the chalice. There's just about enough enemies for the chalice percent to be filled up as well. Okay, I could try a risky running jump, but I think I'm going to just do a little jump onto the mushroom here and let that raise me up. So where's the chalice in this level? Well, right at the start of the level, there was that tunnel we went into. And you may remember we got a club in there. If you've already found the secret at Dan's crypt, then you won't be surprised to know that we're going to be using the club, or in this case the hammer, to get our way through to the chalice. But yeah. They will still respawn enemies, just in the off chance that you didn't get your chalice filled up as well. So one or two of the pumpkin guys will still be showing up. Yeah. I do always like this level, even though it is at the start of the level, I actually do quite like coming back here. It just feels very fun to like find this one out. I'll leave it up to you to decide how worthwhile it is. What I'm going to do here though, just because we're at the end of the level, and I figure I'm not going to need my sword for the next level that we're going to do, I might as well just top it up, just do a full enchantment. So yeah, we go down this secret hole, we get some money, we get the chalice for ourselves. Try and avoid the pumpkins if I can, because it is limited space. Jump out there with the energy vial, and there we go. And all I gotta do is finish the level. See, I really like the music in this level. It's very goofy and wacky, but I think it's perfect for fighting weird pumpkin creatures. And with all the bouncing pumpkins, it fits them even better. Oh god, no, that wasn't good. Yeah! Figured I'd try a little run and jump there. Yeah, the thing about this game I like that the levels aren't that big, because it feels like you get the feel of what's happening, and it doesn't they don't overstay the welcome. Yeah, let's talk to this guy.
All bow down before the master of the vegetable patch, the prize-winning plant who can summon an army of cabbage with a wave of his noble tendril. He's delicious, he's nutritious, he's Zarok's secret recipe. He's the Pumpkin King.
Yay! who we will not be meeting until later. I just want to get some more weapons before I go deal with the Pumpkin King. The Pumpkin, if you will. Any Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there? Pumpkin? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. What do you want?
Gaining allies in the Hall of the Heroes is the way forward. Hack, choppity chop, off with a few zombies' heads, and it thinks it can redeem itself in battle. You still have a long way to go to rank as the best.
Well, we're making our way. I've got... Let's talk to this guy again and hope his dialogue doesn't glitch out again. Of course it glitches out again. Come on.
By God, Fortescue, you must be the luckiest corpse ever to walk the face of the earth. I have something here I can lend to you. Take it or leave it. But remember, I'm only doing this for the sake of Gallowmere's doomed population, and not for you, you gangly buffoon!
Well, alright then. Gold! Yeah. Yeah, you'll notice not all the heroes here are very friendly towards Dan. Some of them see him as just a joke, like this guy does. But Canny Tim's basically just like a suck-up, so... But you'll see a lot of them are very just... I think he's the harshest one, but yeah, some of them were friends, some of them really didn't like Dan. But I quite like that he slowly makes his way into the group. Like, he fits in the end, and I like that. But yeah, we're making good progress. Only an hour and a half in. We are advancing forward. Now, normally, I would just go straight from here to the next level, the Pumpkin Serpent, which I believe is the name of the level, if it wants to load. Yeah. Pumpkin Serpent. But I don't feel like I've got a good enough ranged weapon yet. Which is also why I'm not yet going towards the Enchanted Earth. So instead, we're going to go to the Sleeping Village. Let's see what's happening here. Now the Gargoyle's going to explain this in a moment, but this level's got a rather unique gimmick to do with the chalice. You'll see we're already at 59%, so let's find out why that is.
Poor villagers. The master possesses them. It mustn't hurt them. Hurt guards, though. They seek out an object of great power.
You're right. So yeah, the basic thing we're going to be doing here is we want to make sure we got to be careful not to hurt any of the villagers. They also can't hurt themselves. Like, if they fall into the water, you'll also lose that percentage. So, I want to just try and keep away from them where we can. Just want to grab that bit of health. Yeah, we're going to just be exploring the town. Keep away from that little girl with the axe. You can hit the mice with your hammer, but again, it only gives you like 1 or 2 coins, so it's not worth it. Yeah, the 2 areas you want to be careful of are around here, the little girl can fall in sometimes, and around that lake area I just showed off. The man around there can fall in sometimes. It's not too bad of a level though, like I say. You just gotta be careful with the villagers. So, what we want to do, we hit that switch so that we could put out the fountain. Just grab that chaos rune that was bouncing there. Go into the library. Now we have a lot of textbooks in here, and I'm not sure yet whether or not I think this part I'm not going to go through them. But what I could do maybe, if people are interested, is maybe next part, on the next live stream, I could just take some time reading the books through. Because there's a lot of text here, and it gives us a lot of the context of the characters and the situations, and just a lot of backstory in here. But we do always have the option to replay the level. So, yeah. But I'm going to leave it for now. Maybe at the, you know what, maybe at the end of the level we'll do it. And we'll make this, we might make this the last level if I do that. But, I'll see how we feel. If people are interested in me just reading through the textbooks, I can do that. Because there is a lot of interesting dialogue there. The room key is held aloft by the flow of what? Yeah, we didn't know that. Okay. Not that textbook, I just wanted to check what that one was. There is also a weird speedrunning glitch where you can, like, run through the gap there. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of videos on Medieval recently, because this game's just crept in my mind. I want to avoid the lady here. Got the moon rune. Okay. What's in here? Ah, this just gives us a shield in here. We will be coming back into this room soon. But for now, I just want to grab the top of my shield for the next section. So we want to go to that house that was down near where the little gals are. Now that we've got the moon rune. So let's push this box on there. That opens up the hatch so we can go further into the house. Yeah, you can also break the barrels, but we want to save some of them in rooms like where we need to push them. I want to hit this one though here. Grab that. Get out. Ah! Like I say, you can't really fight back against the villagers. You can, however, if I do it, you can daring down dash into them and stun them for a couple seconds, which can help. Come on, give me my gold. Yeah, you want to just be careful not to hurt any of the villagers, so I'm trying to take a non-violent approach where I can in these areas. But we've come in here for the bust, and we'll find out why shortly. First, let's escape the house. There's no dialogue about the troll head, but it's basically like a pub.
Hurry, comrades, tear this place apart. If we don't find the shadow artifact, Lord Zarok will have us mocking out the demons for the next millennium.
I just found these guards weird. They're like skeleton, but they're also like got like furnaces in the middle of them. They take a few hits, but they're nothing too special. They'll try and shoot you, but they do take a while to shoot, so that's why I like to go close to them. Not the smartest though. So, okay, so we've got the landlord's post. Did I grab a... And I got the crucifix cast, which we also needed. Now with those two things, we're going to make a cross. So we've got the mold. And we're going to put the... I need to find the spot. Oh, for God's sake. You have to be... Yeah, sometimes for items you need to be stood in the right area, or the right spot. What? Okay, no, you do work. I know you do. There you go. So I want to put the bust there, so we've got something golden that we're going to now melt. And we're going to just pump this up for a couple of moments, which unfortunately means we need to jump up and down again and again. And eventually this will melt into a golden cross, which is the key we need to access a secret in the church. There we go. We got the crucifix. Go into the church. Now, luckily we got a health fountain here. Let's use the crucifix on the wall, where it should be. There you go. This just tells you about the crucifix. You want to grab the safe key though. And that opens up the next part of the game, but it also will be used in a moment. Dear Sir or Madam, on my travels across Gallowmere, I have come across many mysterious and enchanting finds. However, that which filled me with the deepest dread was discovery of the tomb of the Shadow Demons. The key to their dank prison, the mysterious shadow artifact, is now in my possession. That dress-wearing bully boy Zarok will stop at nothing to retrieve this item. I fear that he already knows that it is I who possess it. Yours fearfully, the town mayor. Yeah, so basically the mayor's hidden the key there to the safe that the shadow artifact is inside of, and that basically acts as a key to releasing the shadow demons. So naturally, we're going to use it. It'll make sense why in a bit. But for now, let's keep exploring. Now it wants to jump on the roof. We're going to go through the roof, down the chimney, into the house. We want to hit the switch here, which opens up the gates to the end of the town. Now we want to use that safe key right here. To unlock the shadow artifact. Let's grab some money on the table and make our way out. Now we still need a bit more chalice percent, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to where the gates were and go through here for a little mini fight against all the guards here. And that opens the way, but we can now go back and go get the chalice, which you may have caught a glimpse was very close to the mayor's house. And there you go. So we got the chalice, and now we don't have to worry about if the villagers, anything happens to the villagers. Still want to make sure nothing happens in case of any glitches or anything. But yeah, so that's basically everything done here. So since we've got a bit of time, let's go through the books. I need to find where does it begin. History of Gallowmere, Volume 1. During the dark time that was Gallowmere's not too distant past, it was King Peregrine who thwarted Zarok the Necromancer and his plan to enslave the land. Zarok, once the king's mage, had fallen out of favour with the ruler for conducting outlandish experiments on the bodies of the dead. It was said that deep within Peregrine's castle, the dead were restless. The dead are to be honoured, not kept the playthings of alchemists, declared King Peregrine as he banished Zarok from the castle. All of Zarok's living dead were routed out and destroyed. Zarok, being an unforgiving soul, went into hiding and vowed to wreak his revenge on the king. Basically sets up the start of what made Zarok evil. Rumours of ill-doing and dark deeds abounded throughout the land of Gallowmere. It was whispered that Zarok had employed the aid of shadowy demons to help build a vast castle. Under the cover of night, Zarok's dark army spilled forth from their corrupt haven. The army marched south across the Silver Mountains and through the Silver Woods. Soon afterwards, even the Pumpkin Lands belonged to Zarok. The folk of Galland's town cried out for help. "Save us, good King Peregrine!" Retaliation was swift and violent. King Peregrine's forces, led by the brave Sir Fortescue, drove Zarok's army back from Gallows Town. There was much rejoicing, but the war was not yet over. News that Zarok's army had now taken the Floodlands caused much concern. From this vantage point, Zarok could march west to take the Enchanted Forest. This sacred place would prove a bitter defeat if it fell into the hands of the evil sorcerer. It was Sir Daniel Fortescue who once again led the king's militia to rid the demon host from the land. Yet the evil wizard was cunning and prepared an ambush. A titanic battle ensued of which history has never since seen the like. It is said the day would have gone to Zarok, but for the skill and valor of one man, Fortescue led the charge deep into the massed ranks of the undead, felling Zarok's bodyguard, the fearful Lord Cardok, and before finally succumbing to his own mortal wounds, slew the traitorous sorcerer with a mighty sweep of his sword. Ow. Leave me alone. Lucky I can't hit you. The forces of evil were destroyed, but at a terrible price. None but a handful of the king's militia returned from that field. Gallowmere lost a whole generation of young men that day, including Canny Tim, the legendary crossbowman, and Fortescue's second in command, who fell in the first volley of arrows. See how they twisted it there? Canny Tim taking the blame for Fortescue. Zarok's body was never found, though if it lies unmourned in an unmarked grave, then no one in Gallowmere would shed a tear. The shadow demons that had fallen under Zarok's banner were unnatural creatures that did not belong in the world of mortal men. The king declared that they be banished, entombed under the pure earth of the enchanted earth. Imprisoned within an impregnable box of the king's design, the demons were buried deep underground. The tomb was sealed with a magical device that has since come to be known as the Shadow Artifact. Get off me. Okay, so that's our little backstory of the history of Gallowmere. What about the heroes? Chapter 1. In addition to being the strongest man who ever lived, Stanya Ironhewer was unsurpassed in his skill as a blacksmith. He was equally happy pounding on his anvil at home as he was pounding on someone's head in battle. It was said that his only fear was the end of the village smithy as the focus of manufacture in favor of more centralized units. As if. Chapter 2. Born a humble peasant to one of the nomadic tribes from the Eastlands, Blood Monarch Skullcleaver gathered an army of horsemen and swept over half the civilized world. When he finally died, attempting a single-handed attack on a garrison in the north while armed only with the spike on his helmet, he was the richest and most powerful peasant of his day. That was Blood Monarch Skullcleaver. Chapter 3. Karl Sterngard spent most of his formative years under siege at his family castle. With his impregnable magic shield, Sterngard's motto was, "The best form of attack is defense." Sadly, his shield couldn't protect him against poor eating habits, and he died during a post-battle feast while swallowing a large sausage he had failed to chew. Tragic. Chapter 4. Truly the hero's hero, Woden the Mighty was fearless, single-minded, and uncompromising. Unbeaten in combat, he inspired raw fear in friends and enemies alike, not to mention in close family members and pets. Chapter 5. Trained from birth in all forms of combat, Imanzi Shungama was the warrior queen of a tribe of Amazons. The bold and beautiful Shungama banished all males from her territory, except the handful she kept on to mow the lawns of her people. Chapter 6. A full-time mother and homemaker, Megwin Stormbinder had to defend her settlement from barbarian raiders while the menfolk were away on a hunting trip. She fought off repeated attacks armed only with a pitchfork and a rolling pin, and with one arm holding her baby. Legend has it that the gods, impressed by her indomitable courage, intervened and added thunderbolts to her arsenal. She won the battle with a couple of bolts to spare on her husband when he finally returned. Chapter 7. Dirk Steadfast was a fearsome opponent thanks to his magic sword and a firmly held belief that only women defend themselves. Real men are always on the attack. He was a friend and contemporary of Karl Sterngard and was with him even to the end. It was while Steadfast was explaining his views on Sterngard's shield during a feast that the latter had his tragic and inexplicable accident. Chapter 8. Descended from the finest centaur bloodstock, Ravenhooves the Archer was the last prince of his people. A proud and haughty aristocrat, he was an accomplished hunter, sportsman, duelist, playboy, raconteur, and 3-time Derby winner. Chapter 9. Captain of the militia in the time of King Peregrine, Sir Daniel Fortescue found fame when he killed the renegade wizard Zarok. A career soldier raised in the royal household, he was adorned adored by the men under his command, and renowned for his loyalty to Gallowmere. It was said that Fortescue was always destined for greatness with his square jaw, steely gaze, and thick shock of hair. As black as raven's wings, he looked every inch the hero. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Before I read that one, what's this one say? To whom it may concern, I must make haste, for Zarok's men will be here within the hour. I have taken the crucifix from the church. It is the key to a key. I used the cross to make the attached cast, then I had it destroyed. It is my hope that this cast falls into the hand of a just and good hero. Signed, the town mayor. Alright, nearly done. Tourist Guide to Gallowmere. The land of Gallowmere is a wondrous land of breathtaking sights and adventure. If it's beauty you are looking for, be sure to check out the sights of the Enchanted Forest. Scale the heights and see the nests of giant dragon birds. Seek out weird and wonderful plant life. Go ooh and ah at the sight of baby dragon toads splashing about in the crystal clear ponds. Why not take a walk through the Pumpkin Valley? Pumpkin is Gallowmere's favourite dish, and about now the valley is just bulging under the weight of young podlings awaiting harvest. Tourist Guide to Gallowmere Part 2. If it's mystery you're looking for, then the seasoned adventurer should travel to the ruins of King Peregrine's castle. Yes, this is the fortress from which the fabled King Peregrine once hailed. It is said that the king's crown was lost in the dungeons below the castle, and that the ghost of the regent himself now haunts these cold stone passageways. Spooky. Why not take to the swamps and seek out the mystical town of Mellowmead? This place was once said to be a place of fantastical arcane alchemy, but an age has passed since it was consumed by the murky swamps. Perhaps great treasure awaits any adventurer that can locate its watery resting place. Is that it? Yep. And that's it. So, thanks for bearing with me on that. It's a lot of reading just to get through, but I figured I wouldn't... It'd be a shame to not learn a bit more about the characters in the world. Notice as well that Canny Tim didn't have anything about his history aside from falling at the first charge. It's interesting, isn't it? Instructions from Zarok to his guards. Capture that greedy profiteer, the town mayor. Take him to the asylum dungeons. Give the fat boy a good going over. Locate the shadow artifact. Bring me back something nice. And with that, we're finally done with the Sleeping Village. Back to the Hall of Heroes. This should now be my second row. No, that's it. We should now be able to go to the second floor. So let's see who we can talk to. Not the knight. Not the guy with the axe. We can talk to this guy with Ravenhooves the centaur. Although I'm going to leave him for now. Or, the one we want to talk to is... I was forgetting it. Anami Shingamu. Whatever. The Amazon woman.
Dan.
It looks like she has a beard for some reason in her statue.
What's a queen gotta do to meet someone like you? Don't be shy, baby. I've seen you giving me the eye. You may be weak and feeble like old men, but I like you, Daniel. Oh, I love a man who doesn't talk back. I think if you return, I may take you for my husband. Now listen up, sugar. Your bow and arrows are fine for itty-bitty jobs, but if you want to pack some serious heat, you should take this spear. Think of me when you throw it.
And there we go. So we now got the best ranged weapon in the game, the spear. They are very expensive to buy more of, but they hit really hard and are an ideal ranged weapon for boss fights. So, yeah. I figured I should get that now because of what I want to do next, which will be the last level I'm going to do before I leave this part. I figure one more level should be good. A good chunk of the game. And I'll know more. I'll have my pathway that I'm going. As always, we want to save, because that was a lot of dialogue to get through in that place. Thankfully, the next level is a much shorter one. But yeah, so now we're going to finally go to the Pumpkin Serpent. Now that we've got the spear, I feel like I'm good and ready for this. But I figure it'd be weird to not do this part. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm in a book. Okay, that's weird. The King Pumpkin sleeps. If you want an audience with this regal plant, you should mash all of his pod sacks. Yeah, right, we will do just that. So the goal is basically going to be, we're going to destroy all the sacks to be able to face the pumpkin. But with that witch's talisman, let's check this cauldron out.
Greetings, kind sir. I am the Pumpkin Witch. I'm like a mother to those pumpkins. I give them all the love and care a young fruit could ever ask for. From the moment they first push a shoot above the soil, right up until their heads are cut off and eaten. And look, see how they repay me, running around and causing mischief. That nasty old big pumpkin has a bad influence on the young seedlings. If you teach him a lesson and make you present.
I always think the Pumpkin Witch looks like an old woman. Like, she just has that very, like, old English countryside woman look to her. It is rumoured that the Pumpkin Witch is in possession of a much sought-after dragon gem. If you have a witch talisman, you could summon this kindly witch. You're right. I also like that she's not a mean witch. Like she's just looks after the pumpkins, and I like that. Yep. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Chomp through all them. Five pods remain. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, basically the what's happening in this level is that the pumpkin's draining the entire field up, so the fish and plant life aren't able to basically live. They're dying out. So that's why we've got to slay the pumpkin. When I can actually hit the pod, there we go. Whee! I also quite like that they make this area really gross looking, like with all the greens and just the browns. It just looks unpleasant. But that's the idea of this place. 3 pods to go. Two more pods. Oh, and look at that, they're both here. Now you could just exit the level here, but I don't really see why you'd want to do that. You know, like beat the boss and then leave. So here we are, Pumpkin Serpent. How are we going to deal with him? Pretty easy boss, all things considered. Like most of the bosses in this game, they're not that hard. With a couple exceptions. But we've left these 2 bombs here to deal a bit of damage straight to the pumpkin. But I wanted to grab the spear, because you want to use a ranged weapon against him. And the spears, well, you can see here how much they just rip apart his health. And that's it. deflate that pumpkin. And now the plants can grow again. Because we've still got a chalice to go, these little pumpkin guys will keep growing around infinitely, which is good for us because we need. Still got a lot of chalice to go. I had that. I want to just get my chalice all the way to 100% before continuing. 95%. There you go. We can now get the chalice. Good enough for me. But first, let's go get our reward from the witch.
A most edifying spectacle, sir. Man and vegetable in a magnificent duel to the death. Oh, I've come over all of a doodah. Here, have this lovely dragon gem as your reward. Oh, lovely majestic creatures dragons are.
There we go. We got a dragon gem. Now you absolutely need the dragon gems in order to beat the game. So there's two dragon gems and 2 levels that have them. This is the first one done. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I also want to get the spears. You can see though how expensive the spears are compared to some of our other things. They cost as much as it does to enchant a broadsword. But yeah. But I've got the extra money, so I figured why not. So we got full health, we got the chalice, and we got a dragon gem. So now I'm just going to honestly make my way through the level. There you go. A very short level, but I figure it's a good one to end this session on because it's not too long and it's pretty easy. And by this point, we've sort of seen like a few bosses in the way the game sort of runs. Yeah, let's just get this weapon and then we'll start wrapping things up. Let's see what our options are. Because the good thing is sometimes you get multiple choices for what item you want to go and get next, which I quite like that. It might only be Raven Hooves though. Okay, is it just Raven Hooves? Yeah, just Raven Hooves, that's fine. Let's get the longbow. Hello there.
Look at you running around in your bones, Fortescue. You're so nouveau dead. I, Ravenhooves, last prince of the Centaurs, have not galloped the earth in over 10,000 years. Do yourself a favor, Fortescue. Take my longbow, more powerful than a crossbow. The option of flaming arrows, it is truly the weapon of noblemen.
Yes, I will accept it.
Congratulations! You don't quite have my breeding, Mr. Johnny-come-lately, but there's hope for you yet.
There we go. Alright, so we got the longbow. Like you said, it's stronger than the crossbow, but it also shoots slower than the crossbow. So do bear that in mind if you still want to be using the crossbow. The longbow is the basic, solid ranged weapon for this second half of the game. Spears are great, but they're very expensive, so yeah, I recommend spears for bosses and longbow here and there if you want to use a ranged weapon. And the crossbow if you're in a confined space, because you can shoot them quite quick. But yeah, we got 8 chalices done. And I feel like it's a pretty big section of the game that we've finished in this session. Now, the difficult part with me is I could just keep playing. I could absolutely just sit here and keep playing and playing, but I've got a bit of an evening, just little bits to sort out tonight, and I figure I can do a bit of a longer part next time maybe. But yeah, so where will we go next time? The Asylum Grounds or the Enchanted Earth? Well, you'll have to wait and see. But thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first part of Medieval, and I hope you all have a lovely October. Let the spooky season begin. Thanks for watching, and take care.